Anything that anyone else does, you should never do. Do
the total opposite?
Always. The fake top producers. Every single realtor out there full-time should be doing 70 to 90 deals a year. They tried to extort me for years, and they said, "You give me money for the rest of my life." I swear
They
to.
put that.
Theresa Trump, they were basically trying to say. You want to know why? Because I had gone on record accusing them of them being waspy, which they were.
Right, so you're not going to be in that one? No. You're going to be in the wide angle, and this is just you right here.
I'm Howard Stern.
Howard Stern.
Ready?
Yeah, sure.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ralphie and Ryan Show. I am your host, Rafael Velasco, a.k.a. Raphael the Realtor, sitting in with my co-host, the internet sensation, Mr. Ryan Reynolds. And today we have a superstar, a rock star, a Chicago area attorney that started her firm in 2006.
A long time ago.
Mentioned in Chicago Agent Magazine, Top Agent Magazine, Rising Star, Super Lawyers 3 years in a row, and organizer of Looks, Leads, and Lifestyle. Mother of 4, Theresa Panzica. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me. That sounded really good. Wow.
I tried.
You're going live?
There's more to you than just this.
Yes.
I mean, I would consider you somewhat of a serial entrepreneur, wouldn't you say?
Recently. That's just recent.
Yeah.
Because real estate was kind of driving me nuts a little bit.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, so you have a passion for real estate, though, I can tell, because
Yes.
you've invested a lot of time into it, right?
My whole life.
Your whole life.
That's why I'm becoming the serial entrepreneur, because I have to be something else more than just real estate and mom and wife and daughter, right?
You're not satisfied?
It's not I'm not satisfied, but like I feel like in 2020 people don't really appreciate that lifelong investment. Like they're just always looking for the hottest, newest, freshest thing.
When did you start seeing that?
Internet, like social media days.
No, I mean like so when
like
social
the shift,
media just okay.
Right. Like
all
then
right.
It was like whoever takes the coolest pictures on Instagram.
That's what it is. It's all about the likes nowadays.
Right. Like whoever has the nicest hair, whoever looks a certain way, whoever responds to emails in like 2 seconds and then puts everybody on the deal at risk for like bank account fraud and wire fraud. Like that's my man.
Yeah.
You have a much different approach. So I watched one of your videos where you said that you've been in the business since. This is crazy because I can't believe I don't want to ask you what your age is because you look young.
Right.
But you've been in the business since the 80s?
Yes.
Holy
oh my
shit.
God. That is crazy.
I wasn't like Doogie Howser lawyer, obviously.
Right.
Because people people get really upset. Like, so some top producers in Chicago, people that think that they're top producers, they get awards that say that they're top producers, but really don't do a lot of business. Like they have these huge teams, and if you divide it out like what each person does per team, it's probably about anywhere between like 2 and 10 deals a person, which is like absurd. Like we do thousands of deals, and I have like maybe like 4 of us, and 2 are me and my husband, and I'm like marketing queen, and my husband does the closings, so like 2 people are in the office.
Yeah, you're definitely a rock star. What were you doing in the 80s?
Well, that's what. So those people the fake top producers. They're gonna get really mad because they know who they are. You loser. Sorry. So those people always criticize when I say that I've been doing this since the 80s, because in their opinion, you're only allowed to take credit for when you were licensed. But here's the difference. When I was licensed, I immediately knew what to do because I'd been doing it my whole life. So like I was, when I first started, I was doing like closing documents for my dad on a typewriter because it was the 80s and there was no computers. Then it moved up to like word processors, and then it was computers.
Jesus.
And then in high school, I got like driveway permits, and I got pulled out of line by City Hall. Was very different in Chicago back in the day. If you like looked good, you got pulled out of line. Or maybe I'm just old now, so they don't pull me out of line anymore. But when I was young, they did. And then I transitioned to like working at the title company. So like I immediately started practicing. And in my opinion, I'm like a 60, like in terms of experience, like I'm like in my 60s, right?
When the amount of work that you've seen,
right?
The amount of cases that you've seen,
and like the history of it, like no one values. So not only do they not value that experience, they don't value the history.
Here's like the greatest questions, because you've been in the business for such a long time. What has changed since the 80s. The biggest change in the real estate business.
So the biggest change is that people when email started being overused and abused, everybody's, realtor wise, I guess across the board, everyone's profits plummeted because everyone's being like super micromanaging, which doesn't help anything, because if you as a homeowner want your property values to rise, guess what? You need the market to be moving. So if you have realtors pandering to your every last whim, guess what? The market's not going to move, and then your property values aren't going to go up. So in my opinion, prices have been flat, not because of what happened, not because of the recession, but because of the culture of real estate that is just so not businessy. It's almost as if we're kindergarten teachers. It's terrible.
So the agent's going away. Zillow's going to take over the world? No.
I saw that Zillow video you put on YouTube.
What did I say?
I think it was
I said
the one you were just talking.
No, I said something else is worse than Zillow.
You're like, I'm not gonna be that nice lady anymore. And then you just started like ripping on all the realtors. And I'm like, holy shit.
Well, because I mean, here's the thing: like they act like they're teachers now or something. Like,
what do you mean, teachers? Like,
just very like a preschool teacher, like a kindergarten teacher. Like, you
like
have
holding
to,
your hand. And
yes,
shit?
Like
yeah.
that is not what you guys are paid to know the market, to know how to find deals, to know how to do niche things, to show people how to make an empire in real estate. You're not there to answer their every whim. That's like for a psychologist, a shrink. Like, I don't know, like what. It's really perverted from like what the true essence of real estate was. Like when our phone didn't ring, we were, because there was no email. So when the phone didn't ring past noon because all the closings had been scheduled, and then all the people were out just working. But it wasn't even the realtors that were calling, really. It was like the lenders and the clients.
Yeah.
So I think that email really messed up what people think that they're supposed to do. Also social media, in my opinion, too, because what you're supposed to do is being in front of people, calling people, talking to people, meeting people. And yes, you could meet people on social media. And yes, you could talk to people on social media. But like at the end of the day, if you don't get outside the matrix, like nothing happens.
You got to meet.
Right.
So, did you ever use email?
So yes, I did that bit that I'm sure, do you guys do this? So I had like a computer, and then I had a laptop, and then I added a screen, and like it was, it got to a point where I was getting like physically ill in 2010. So then what I decided to do was to start hiring people. So then my health came back because I was no longer stressed out of my mind trying to keep up with this email game. My God. But then, then my pocketbook got ill because then I was just...
Yeah, you weren't producing.
I was producing, but my profits were going to staff. So that's what realtors don't understand, is that their profits... The way that they want the game to be, my profits, their profits, lender profits, are all going to everybody else other than the people that are actually producing. Because we're doing this like preschool, like, it's okay, honey. Your closing didn't, your loan's not ready. Let me like take you, like, I don't even know. It would be fun. Like maybe they should be like, let's go shopping all day. I don't know. Then maybe they'd leave us alone. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Then maybe the realtor would meet more clients. It's just like, I just feel like the whole world's gone mad from email and social media.
Let's hear the Theresa way of doing business. What does that process look like?
The best way. The best way.
So
for both the attorneys and
for
the agent.
Everybody in the business, it needs to be time blocked. There is never a point in any transaction where every single file is of equal importance. Never. However, if you ask a realtor, their file is important every single second of every single day. If you ask a client, they think their file is important every single second of every single day, which is not true. We keep your data on everything. So as realtors, you should be keeping like, what's your ratio from like when you meet someone, like let's say you go on a listing appointment, and then what's your ratio of closing them to either a buyer's agreement or a listing appointment, right? Yeah. And then it should be contract to close, or for listings or buyers, like how many of them are going under contract too. So you
Yeah.
need those 3. So like we track all that stuff. Not for us, because ours is a little bit different. Like we track like how many people go under contract, how many people get to what stage, what are the reasons why they cancel, right? So my data is a little bit different. We track all of that stuff, and then we analyze it and we look at trends. Like if people channel their need to be this be all end all to the client, if they channeled it into that, then they truly would be the be all end all to the client, because they would be educating them the correct way. Like, guess what? Your file is important if it's closing tomorrow. Your file is important if you have a final walkthrough. Your file is important if we have a showing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Your file is important. Like, nobody knows how to prioritize everything, and you want to know why? Because they're not using time block schedules. They're not using checklists. So it just is a mess. So they do what's called, in my opinion, is a ping pong game. So if somebody calls them or if somebody emails them, then that's the most important file.
Yeah, they stop everything they're doing and they focus on that one client. Yeah, you believe that everyone should be niched down into a certain niche so you can provide the best service at that one niche. Is that, or is it because you're building a process and you are more efficient at it because you've built up a machine?
So from what we were just talking about, like, I didn't build it all. Like, I stole a lot of stuff from my dad. One of my mentors in Houston, like, I didn't steal it. He offered it up. But like, he showed me everything that, like, these ideas where I told you with the tracking, like, that was his stuff. He was the CFO of this store called Francesca's. Have you heard of that? It's in the mall.
Is that the KW agent you were talking about?
Yeah, Lance Logan.
Yeah.
So like, he's very, right? Like, very businessy, like, very top notch. So it was refreshing to see that. So I basically like took my dad's stuff and like his stuff and like made this thing, which is nice because I can plug and play with anybody. Any lawyer that I want to hire, I can just plug them in because it's very structured, our day and what they have to do. But people get upset because they want me to take their file.
Right.
If I tell realtors that, guess what, if you're doing short sales, if the buyer doesn't do their inspection, doesn't do their loan up front, doesn't do their attorney review, your odds of closing is 1%. I can talk to all 100 of those realtors. They will all insist that it's their file that's the one that's going to close. All of them.
Yeah.
I just did it this week because we had a bunch that like weren't signing off.
And
No, mine's going to be different. Next person. Mine's going to be different. No. Oh, no, mine's going to be. I don't know. Because it's just, I understand why the file is important to them because they may be their only one. But my point is like, get more than one. And niches are a good way to get more than one. Niches are less competition. Everybody competes for regular business. But guess what? Not everybody wants to do probates. Not everyone wants to do foreclosures, right?
Why do you think that?
Because it's hard. They don't understand it.
Yeah, you pretty much are willing to take whatever you can to make the dollar, right? They're like, well, yeah, it's not what I really specialize. It's a little out of my area, but I'll go there because, it's, whatever, $5-6 grand or whatever.
They'll drive, but I'm saying like the niche stuff.
Yeah.
Like I have people tell me like they don't even take their buyers to REOs because they think that they're risky. Or there's people that say like, I don't even let my buyers do short sales because I think that they're risky. Or I don't know if people say that about probate, but like I guess like for listing wise, like they might say like, well, I don't understand it, so I don't want to take it.
Yeah.
Realtors.
Well, when a probate's listed, it doesn't say it doesn't really say it's a probate list. It'll say an estate sale, like in the agent remarks and stuff like that, or like sold as is, but it's not listed as like an REO.
Right. So I don't think they vet those that way. I'm saying like let's say if they heard probate.
Oh, it might scare them away. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think they would take it if it came to them. I don't think
like
they would look for it. Like,
buyer?
do you know how you guys like look for it? Like, I think it's few and far between that people would look for it.
I'm not sure if it's that they're like scared to do it. I just think it's not everybody knows about it. Like,
but most of these properties are outdated. I mean, it's nothing.
So that's good then.
Yeah. Oh,
that's opportunity.
Yeah, for an investor or somebody that's looking for some sweat equity, it's perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
So but they don't think. I mean, listen, I do classes and I teach people about foreclosures, and I have done.
What's it called?
It's my new thing. Do you even know about it? So I made an investor. Of course, I
know about it.
My new investor group.
On Facebook? No, I'm talking about Looks, Leads, and Lifestyle.
Oh, okay. So
you have so many. I don't know. You have so much going on.
I know.
I literally I want to say in the past week I've had like 10 invites to like 10 different groups you created.
Did you get invited to the mom's one? That was an accident.
I'll join it. Shit.
My wife needs it.
So yeah, she looks, leads, lifestyle mom. So no, so when I first started doing events, they were all on foreclosures. So we did.
Was that your like bread and butter before short sales?
No. So when I first started, I did condo deconversions and some regular business or condo conversions, excuse me. So this basically like you take apartment buildings and you turn them into condos. That was my niche. And then that dried up because the market crashed and no one could get financing. So then it switched to short sales. So my dad kind of spearheaded it, and we would do classes like 1 to 4 times a month, sometimes more, at our office. And we would talk about from start to finish, like what to expect. So it was like educational. So like with probate, like showing people like how it works, you know, like when the case is filed, what's next, how long it takes, like that kind of stuff. But honestly, like I evolved from that for foreclosure. Like here's when you get a Liz Pendens foreclosure against your house, this is what happens, blah, blah, blah. Because in my opinion, it gets back to like how I say, like, I think realtors are lost now. It's because there's too much information.
Yeah.
Realtors are just supposed to do sales. That's it. So like, why am I teaching realtors, why am I teaching realtors on like legal stuff? Like that's not really helpful. So then it switched to more into showing people how to find foreclosures.
No, that's smart because
scripts and like things like that.
You're the one who handles all the legal shit, anyways. That's why. That's why I love the attorney, because it's like, you know, you guys we look for the deal or we list it, and then if it goes under contract, then it's just like, oh, you guys just take care of it, and it's like.
Thank you for saying that, because I wish more realtors did that, because they don't. Like some realtors now are hiring transaction coordinators to basically like.
What is a transaction?
Step over each other's feet.
No,
like doing the same thing.
I praise you guys. I like.
No, but you're doing it the right way. That's the appropriate way. Like if you're a realtor, I
pissed you guys off.
No, if you're a realtor and you want to do 70 to 90 deals a year, you have to, out of necessity, tell your clients when you go under contract, like, listen, I'll contact you for final walkthrough and see you later.
Yeah.
Sellers, I don't even know what you say, but bye, I did my job. I don't know.
Yeah.
So like. The lawyer is supposed to take over. Now, old school, like 1980s, realtors were a little bit more involved, but it was easier because there was no email. They would do some of the negotiation and then just send it to the lawyer, like in terms of like credits and repairs and all that stuff. Just because lawyers had recently discounted their fees, lawyers used to charge 1% of the purchase price.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be that the realtors were doing us a favor because we were doing a favor back by discounting the fees. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So now the fees haven't changed since the 80s, and we're doing more work than ever. So that's why last year, after like a hacking attempt, like we cut email with third parties because it was just taking forever and was making my pocketbooks.
I just talked to a real estate, I shouldn't say a real estate attorney.
Okay.
But an attorney that does a lot of real estate.
Okay.
And he said that the price might change, the fees.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
I very
I
highly doubt it.
I thought it was going to.
What is
It should be 1%. Just to keep up with inflation, it should be around 1,000.
You guys do a lot of work.
I mean, yes and no. Like we do, but it was
stuff.
No, we do, but a lot of it was made up work. It goes back to that kindergartner junk that everyone's doing. So like the stuff where like there's excessive emails and everybody wants to know what everybody else is doing and accusing other people of not doing their jobs. And then like we get like, I always ask people like, did I open up a mortgage company? Because all we get are calls.
What's going on
before
with
it was email about loans.
Yeah.
Like, do I look like the lender? Like what, like, why are you calling me? Yeah. So like when we want to know loan status, we call the lender direct. And if after 6 weeks we don't get anything, like then we'll tell our realtor, like, listen, we're calling every week and they're not doing anything, or we're calling every day and they're not doing anything. Can you call the other realtor? Another thing that people don't understand is it's supposed to be broker to broker, lawyer to lawyer. So when you do have a hiccup, you're not supposed to call the other lawyer. You're supposed to call the other realtor. I'm not supposed to call the other broker. I'm supposed to call the other lawyer.
Yeah.
And if they don't respond, then the ethical thing for me to do is tell my broker, guess what? This gent's not answering. So this lawyer gent's not answering. Can you talk to the other broker and see, like, do I have a wrong number? Is he on vacation? Does he have a cover? Like, whatever. But did you notice how I did that? It's not inflammatory. It's not, you haven't answered the phone in 4 weeks. right? Which is what they all do. For what? Like what? Like what number were you dialing?
Yeah.
Were you you were dialing the wrong number? Oh, okay. Well, then that's why.
Yeah.
So everyone's just so like, the way people talk in email right now is so absurd and so accusatory and so inflammatory. I think realtors like it. I have no idea.
Like what, emailing?
I think realtors like those crazy emails. They must.
Do you prefer a phone call or text?
Yes. Phone.
Yeah.
Quick. Done.
Yeah.
Solve a problem.
How
Done.
about a text?
Anything that
Doesn't involve email?
no. Conversations are meant to be done on the phone or in person. Bottom line, period. Text messages are like if you're like watching TV or working out and you're talking to your friend, like whatever. But
I have so many emails that I miss most of them. I can't go through all that
delete.
shit. Yeah.
You can opt out. Do you know how you opt out of email? So if you use a multi-board contract, you can write I, insert your name. So for you, Ryan Reynolds, the movie star, opt out of email notice. If you need anything, please call me. Here's my cell. For loan status, please call the lender. For legal status, please call the lawyer. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
How does a realtor become a top realtor? Not those fake top realtors,
Right.
a real top
We
realtor.
only have fake ones in
Yeah.
Chicago.
So how do we become the top realtor?
So how you become the top realtor is by, well, I mean, Lance Loken stuff for sure.
Right.
Niches for sure.
What's a hot niche that you're seeing?
So deconversions, condo
In the city?
deconversions.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's huge now, right?
Nobody is touching foreclosures, but I have someone that's working on it, and he's had 3 listing appointments today. He got all 3.
Wow.
He has 3
Oh,
more
is
on
that the
Tuesday.
Villa Park guy that you're talking about?
Is he from Villa Park? I don't think so.
I think you mentioned some guy that you were like, oh yeah, you guys need to jump on the foreclosures. Nobody wants to do foreclosures.
They
I
don't.
got this guy
I'll do
in Villa Park
foreclosures.
and he's killing it.
I don't know
thought
where
it
he's
was
at.
Villa Park.
No, you guys should do it. Okay, so guess what? There's 60,000 people in foreclosure in the 7 counties right now. And guess how many short sales are listed?
How many?
Like 427.
What?
So like, I don't think that anyone will jump on
That's
it.
an issue.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. My education stopped. So remember, I was doing the educational stuff and then it switched to like more sales stuff. I did more showing people how to find foreclosures until 2015. And then I stopped because I thought that regular business was going to be so much better. What a mistake.
Yeah.
So you should do everything. So like, I think you should so Lance Loken does a really great job at working his sphere. He also does a radio show.
Oh, a podcast or radio show?
No, he does like commercials on a radio show. Something with Barbara Cochran,
Oh, no shit.
who she just got hacked for $320,000 from an email hack because she's in real estate. Our emails are like,
Wait, but I thought there's a wire fraud disclosure.
No.
She got hacked.
She got hacked.
Oh, they
So
hacked her
people,
account?
no, okay, so I'm glad you said that. So a lot of people think that wire fraud is the only way you could be gotten in real estate. No,
doesn't.
there's bank account fraud. So if you there's several ways that they could do it. So they can send you an invoice, which is what they did to Barbara Cochran. They can get your employees. So if your employees have direct deposit and you have your bank account number, they can take it out of their account. If your clients email an earnest money check, they can take it out of their account. If I send a check for something like, let's say like I had to pay a zoning and I had to send it to the title company for proof, my account number's on there, they could take it. So then they take money out via ACH debit or PayPal.
So how do you avoid that?
Don't use email. First and foremost. So like basically real estate people's emails are dirtier than like anything. Like licking the floor on the driveway is
she's
cleaner.
Smart. Why was she transferring
Dude,
$320,000?
Jeff Bezos just got hacked.
Did he?
Yeah,
For how much?
I don't know, a ton
A bill?
probably. I don't
Doesn't
know.
$1
matter.
billion.
Yeah. That won't even affect.
Yeah, but you have to understand, for Barbara Cochran, $320,000, like what's that to her? That's
Yeah.
probably like $3,000 to us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
right.
probably
It's
not
nothing.
like a big thing for her. So she probably gets a lot of invoices and they just pay, and that's it.
Yeah.
So excessive email makes that happen. Not using the phone makes that happen. You shouldn't be paying invoices on email.
No, you shouldn't even
It should
put
be
your
mailed.
card on there.
Right. It should be mailed. Do you know what I'm saying?
I never put my card in phone.
How about for all these youngsters, these millennials that are attached to their cell phone? What are we gonna do with them?
Well, I think they more text. I don't think they're too attached to email.
Okay.
I don't think they're too
probably don't
attached to
even have
email.
no, nobody cares about email.
Right. Just the 35 to 50 set in real estate loves emails.
Is email worse than direct mail now? It's definitely more
for sure.
It's definitely more spammy. That's for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, tips to not get hacked. Like number one, obviously don't use email. Number two, be phone based if you're a professional. Like make sure that anything that has to do with anything that's like a bank account or a social or anything is done phone. Fax, secured, so like DocuSign, encrypted with a password. That works as well. And then like also PayPal. You should take off all your bank accounts from PayPal.
Oh my God.
It should
Why?
only be credit card because you don't have that much. You only have 60 days to report it. So they're real good, the hackers. They take out the same amount that you deposit or the same amount that you spend. So if you go to like Portillo's, or not Portillo's, where would somewhere that you would spend, where you spend on PayPal. So let's say you bought something for $20 on PayPal, then they would take out $20 right after so you wouldn't notice. Does that make sense?
Just
like they're like, they like
so
watch.
bad.
They like do...
Do you know where the hackers are coming from?
Overseas.
Russia.
Yeah.
I think it's
it's
India.
Africa too.
It's Africa
Nigeria.
too? Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was mostly
Russia.
The reason I'm scared is because I literally just did a couple transactions on PayPal, and I haven't done it in a long time, and I forgot like my password and shit. So, I was trying to do like you know how like you can like. So you reach out to, it's like a marketing strategy. You reach out to like a big page, like a page that has like 200,000, 300,000 like followers and shit. And you have like a piece of content and they'll share it on the big page and they'll like shout you out. It's like shout out for shout out type thing, but it was for like $20. And it was from India. But I mean, I haven't seen any money come, like extra money come out.
Take your bank account.
I'm going to delete all that shit. You just scared me.
So you only have 60 days to report if it's a bank account that's personal. If it's business, you have 1 day.
Whoa.
Or that's it. You don't get any money back.
It was $20, but are you talking about if they steal more money out of it?
Yes.
Oh shit! I think it was my checking account.
Take
At
it off.
least it wasn't my savings.
Take it off. If you work with a lender that tells people like, oh yeah, email me your bank statements. No,
Sweet.
That's not like, you cannot do that. So we're actually like working on like platforms
I thought
and other things.
PayPal was
to kinda
legit.
help.
That's why I was like, all right.
So
PayPal.
credit cards, you have a year to report it. So just put your credit card on. So it's fine.
I'm not going to use it anymore.
I mean, I got like that.
There's no reason
I got
to.
like that. I got hacked for a large amount. They gave me back almost all of it. After it took a while though, like almost 3 months.
Yeah, I recently, I think on my debit card, I had to get a new one recently, but this was before that the PayPal transaction. It was like it was only like $200-300, but I've never been hacked, and I'm like, and it was
I mean, it's because you're in real estate.
But I make so many transactions, like I don't even pay attention to my statements, but like I was going through it and I just noticed it. I'm like, oh man, I wonder if there was some other transactions and shit that's been.
You should look, because when I found out that compromise happened to me, I found stuff from like 2 years ago. It was bad. So you have to check it vigilantly. But another tip too is don't do online banking as well, because that's how they get you too.
I buy everything online. What the hell am I
Don't
supposed to do?
Don't do online banking though.
Oh, wait,
online banking.
What do you mean?
So like don't have a password to sign in.
Oh my god.
Because when they hack you, they'll put like a Trojan horse virus, so then they could see everything that you're doing.
So like
your
the
password.
Chase Bank app and shit, don't use that. That's my life.
That's Chase. Well, I don't want to say anything. Chase has $1 trillion. Yeah.
Well, I mean not just Chase, but I mean like all my bank, like
right.
But
you know Chase has $1 trillion, but they don't have the technology to understand like where hacks are coming from. They had the nerve to ask me like, how come you're disputing some PayPal accounts charges but not others?
Okay,
like they had no technology to see the one that was in Russia.
So besides the app, like I can't even go on like the Chase website?
No.
So you're saying I have to walk into a branch?
Like it's 1940s. Gangster.
That is such
Love
a waste
it.
of time.
So do you deposit like $20,000 checks like in the ATM too? Is that what you do? I have friends that do that.
I
have. Is that bad?
Yes.
Oh my god.
They can just steal the check.
I'm not that I'm lazy. It's just my time is important to me. But I mean,
hey, you know how you save a lot of time? Get rid of your email.
This is shit that my demons are made of. Bad little diva, no makeup. I see the team, we don't shake up. Money dancing on me, haters. Me need that bitch, we no paper. So much dough, I be needing a baker. Don't be calling for me unless you pay her. Pop up flat and get geek, and I came up. I just walked up out the house with too much sauce. I was supposed to tone it down, but I forgot.
You could say whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
So I thought he was going to sound terrible. He sounded like awesome.
Well, yeah, I remember you telling me, you're like, I sounded like shit, but he sounded good because he knows how to use the mic.
But when I was in person, I was like, what the I'm like, what is he like? Smoke some more, bro. Like,
So I was gonna ask you when they came up to you and they asked you to shoot the music video in your house,
right?
You were so down for it. How did you meet them? Through social media?
No. So the producer's dad is my client.
Okay, so you obviously met him through his father, and
right.
Then how did that relationship come up? Did he's like, oh yeah, my son has a record label?
The father's a really cool guy.
Oh, okay, so
we just like talk about everything.
Oh, okay.
He just is like a cool guy from the South Side, like invests a lot, and
then he was like, hey.
They've always said, well, no, actually, no, this is how it came about. So I have a very famous property in Chicago.
Famous? I didn't know it was famous. What makes it
It's
famous?
The most famous.
I mean, it's a dope house. But,
it is beautiful.
I mean, what makes it famous?
I mean, in my opinion, it's the coolest house in Chicago.
It's the coolest house I see on social media.
Right. So,
what's it? Where's the location? I mean, you don't have to tell me the street or nothing.
Do you want the address? 123 Sesame Street. I'm just joking. So it's like the north side of the city. I call it a palace. Other people call it a castle.
A palace. A castle? That's not the one that you were the recent pictures in front with the blue doors, was it?
No, I don't know what that is.
What was it?
We go.
That's another. Some nice properties.
That's Looks Leads Lifestyle. That's a field house.
The field house. Yeah, you were like, yeah, that's the one where it looks like you're in Rome or some shit.
So,
right?
So Chicago was meant to look like that.
All of it.
All of it. And then the master plan wasn't followed because the next wave of like architects didn't believe in that. They rejected it. So then.
So is the Looks Leads Lifestyle building, do you rent that out or you own it?
So we venue hop. So a lot of field houses in Chicago look like Paris. So growing up, I was always like, why don't we have a Central Park? Why don't we have nice parks? Like we just have Grant Park and it's kind of like you go there and it like ends, right? Like real quick, right?
Yeah.
So we do have Central Park. It's called Douglas Park, Garfield Park. Mm-hmm. Gorgeous. Yeah. They're all connected. And actually, like Humboldt is too. You can ride a bike to all of them. There's a path that connects all of them. So I've been using those. I've done paid venues. We've done mansions. So there's not like one central location for Looks Leads Lifestyle.
Okay. All right.
We're all over. I've done them at my home. So we've done Looks Leads Lifestyles at my home for like select groups of people. Okay. And then of course I let the rap video happen there as well too. Because
how was that? How was it?
So that was what the joke was. So then we said that my neighbors would get really mad. There's like a long story. I don't want to bore you to death, but basically
my neighbors. I want to know. Tell me.
My neighbors are jerks. Are they
going to hear the podcast?
No, they wouldn't because they wouldn't subscribe to anything that I do. Basically, they interfered with the completion of my home. It's the ongoing purpose of the neighborhood gang is to stop completion of my home. So they tried to extort me.
For what reason?
They just don't like it.
Tell me about your home.
Oh, you said it was famous, right?
Yeah.
So, what makes it famous?
Because you could see it. So it's right off the...
all right.
I mean... Because you could see it, but it just is. I think it's a really nice,
unique
home though. Like it's a really nice home. Like if that house was in Lincoln Park, it would be like 10 mil. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So the house is built near my office. So because we're a young family, I thought it would be a good idea to be by my office. So that's why we bought there. I didn't think the neighborhood was as bad as it was, but there's.
What do you mean bad? Like crime?
So it's, for lack of a better word, it's kind of rough around the edges.
Okay.
So then these group of women that are extreme, I'm from DuPage. So
right, got it.
I mean,
so when did you move to Cook County?
So I lived downtown for 10 years and then I moved over here. There's this group of rough around the edges, extreme left, like Hugo Chavez left, okay? Women that walk around the neighborhood in like prize giveaway t-shirts and like walk human-sized dogs like as big as like us. Yeah. Okay, with like a chain. Like imagine like walking us with a chain. Like
I'm
disaster.
picturing it right now.
And they tried to extort me for years, and they said, "You give me money for the rest of my life." I swear to you. They said, if you give me money for the rest of our life, I will leave you alone and I'll tell the alderman to give you a permit.
Did you tell them that you were an attorney? Did they know you were an attorney?
Yeah, they said, I don't care. Give me my money. That's what they said. And then I went to the alderman for protection and he goes, I was laughing. I showed him the letter thinking that he was going to laugh. He goes, no, give it to them. I'm like, excuse me? And here's me. I had just had my second child. My husband's in law school. I had just spent all my money on the house because it was a foreclosure. So I invested all my money into it that I had like liquid, you know. And he's like, no, I'm not giving you the permit. So I was like hysterical crying. He was in my face screaming, your house should have never been built. It's a travesty, blah, 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 blah. Like, you need to, what did he tell me? I want you to park on the street because you need to humble yourself. That's what he told me.
Who told you that?
The alderman.
Jeez.
I'm like, listen, I didn't even basically have a 20s because I just put my nose down and just worked to be able to afford a house that was close to my office so that I could raise a family and be a lawyer and have a big life, you know? And this guy's telling me, like, humble yourself.
Do they hate you or the house more?
I think they just don't like the whole idea because it's like, we dress a certain way. We're Italian. They're very like waspy, very Hugo Chavez left. Like it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So even though like my husband's like very like he's from Chicago, like he's very you know liberal, and we're he's Maria Shriver, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of thing, right? But we still get along, which is like hilarious because like social media days, right? Like those two people can't be friends, but he's my husband.
Yeah.
Whatever. So after they extorted me, I sued them because there was no review process in the permits. He was just supposed to sign it. Just like how when you call police, they're supposed to file a police report. Mm-hmm. He refused to. So we had
you were already an attorney, right? Because
okay. It was like 2013.
Yeah.
This was. So I'd been a lawyer for 6 years. For writ of mandamus. Do you remember that from Madison versus Marbury when you were a kid? Mm-mm. So it's basically forcing a government official to do their job. So I sued them. The law department for the city found out about it. They were like, oh my God. And they signed it right away. Like immediately. As soon as they got it. So
how much you sue them for? Can you say?
No, you can only sue for either performance or damages. So I needed that permit. So I sued for performance.
Oh, got it.
So
such a waste of time. Damn,
so
wasting your time.
From 2013, and that resolved in like 2017.
Oh my God.
And they tried to extort me the whole time. So then after that, then I was low on funds because the construction was supposed to be done in like 6 months. And here I was not even started, and it was 2017. And I had prepaid people. It was just like a mess. So like I had just had my third daughter. It's hard when you have kids back to back to back, like when you have your own business, like it like drops a little, like whatever. So we had to delay it. And then when I went to submit plans, I submitted the same plans that I had submitted in 2014. The building department at that time did not say a peep about the fence at all. Okay. So I had one on the driveway permit with that lawsuit. They didn't say anything about the fence in 2014. Then in what year was this? 17, I think, or 18, I submitted. Now all of a sudden the fence wasn't allowed, allegedly. But we had insider tip that the building department was saying that this alderman who wanted me to pay people off was in the building department telling people like not to approve things. So they forced
shady shit going on.
Yes. So,
but it sounds normal in Chicago.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say that.
I don't know. I think that's pretty extreme.
No,
it's pretty extreme.
It's pretty extreme, but I mean,
I would expect it in Chicago, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like, it's not like mind blowing. Like
I don't know. I just can't believe that like someone could buy a house and you could be victimized like that, like so bad.
It's wrong.
It's supposed to be personal property first, right?
Right. So he definitely broke my constitutional law rights. Like I was talking to attorneys about civil stuff all the time, but I really wanted to get the neighbors because they're the ones who started this. Like if they didn't say anything, you really think he would have done this? No. He was trying to get the votes. He was maybe trying to get some of that money. Who knows, right? So the good news is that these people are so dumb that they put everything in email. So it's all the truth's all going to come out. There's actually an investigation going on right now, but I don't want to say too much about that. But nonetheless, we had to go to variance. They started saying that I was Donald Trump and I was building a 7 to 20 foot solid fence.
Get out of here.
In writing,
Did they literally say Donald? In writing, they put Donald Trump.
So they didn't say it, but they said real neighbors build bridges, not walls.
They put that?
Theresa Trump, they were basically trying to say. You want to know why? Because I had gone on record accusing them of them being waspy, which they were. And I was like, they don't like me because my husband's Spanish and I'm Italian and we're not exactly waspy. So they would put in writing that like, we want non-WASPs to join our cause. So they had to paint me out as Donald Trump to try to get the Hispanic vote.
That's crazy.
But they didn't get it because I had to go for variance. They had to get signatures. I had to get signatures. So they circulated a petition that said I was building a 7 to 9 foot solid fence, which was a lie. I had a 5 foot see-through fence. So all the Hispanic people, like clearly like Hispanic people are going to like my family. They all signed for me.
For sure.
Some of them were scared though because they're a mob. They were scared. They're like, no, I'm scared out of retaliation. I can't sign. I'm scared that they're going to do something to me because they have before in the past.
That's crazy.
And they thought that the house should have never been built?
Yes. So like when I was going for variance petition, some woman who had a shirt on that said impeach Trump answered the door and I was sitting there with my children and she goes, I'm like, hi, I'm like, sorry to bother you. I just want some help. Like, we just want to help. We just want to finish our house. Like, be done with this. She's like, I wish your house blew up with your kids in it.
You are lying.
That is terrible.
And I told the police and they're like, why didn't you tell us this? Or file a report.
I believe you.
I was like, I don't know. I was so shocked. Like, I don't know. So some other guy was like, get the fuck off my property. You're full of shit. Like, whatever. Like, just like great, like literally like Looney Tunes. And these are all like this group of like far left, Hugo Chavez left.
No,
that are
yeah,
doing this.
yeah.
So we go to, so basically like he was running for election. So they were telling them like, don't vote for Arena. That's the name of the alderman. Because he's going to make sure that her house doesn't get done.
It's all a mob. It's all a
mafia. So it's racketeering. It's literally racketeering. So we get to the hearing and they go on record under oath. Under oath, they went on record and said, do you have any petitions against Theresa's fence? And they go, yeah. And they hand over the thing that said I was building a 7 to 9 foot solid fence, which I never was. So they perjured themselves. I mean, it's just a mess. So luckily, that guy lost. He won my neighborhood, so that's the voter fraud because he promised to make sure that my house wasn't done in turn to get votes. And then he lost, though, the ward.
Good.
So then a new alderman got in, and then I didn't ask him for any favors. I just resubmitted it the day that the guy got out because once you lose, you have like a little bit of an interim period. Mm-hmm. So like he lost in like maybe March or April. And then he left in like May or June, I forgot. So I submitted right after that and it got approved. I lost the variance because he went against it and the zoning board defers to the alderman. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have a variance. I had nothing and mysteriously gets approved. It wasn't a mystery. It was because he wasn't meddling behind the scenes anymore. Right. Yeah. So that's the story with that. So the reason why the rap video was filmed is because we wanted to make the neighbors nervous by having rappers there because they'd get real nervous, right?
Hell yeah.
So
they showed up with like a big crew?
So they didn't. I was disappointed. I wanted a big crew.
You should have told them.
I wanted a big crew. So maybe we'll do another one.
They bring any props?
So they had like champagne. There was no
guns, no reefer.
No, he actually borrowed my champagne bottle, I think. Like I had a bottle of rosé. He's like, I
saw that music video. I like that song.
Right.
It's good.
It's a good song. And
they shot a great video.
So I had some people after I had my Looks Leads Lifestyle event there, and people saw that video and they're like, I want to take a picture in the foyer with like the camera looking up at me, and it was like girls, so like it didn't really work so well because like their chest was in the way. Yeah. So it was like the head and then like another bump covering their face, and it did not work well by any means. So, but I don't know. Maybe I'll recreate it. People want me to do music videos.
So that you only did one music video?
I wasn't in it. I should have been.
Well, no, I'm saying like you've only. You wanted to be in it? What would you do in that music video?
Just walk.
Yeah, just chill there with the champagne bottle.
No champagne.
No champagne.
Walk. No drinking. Just walk.
So you want to do more music videos?
So he actually filmed 2 that day.
Okay.
The other one was so like the first one was better because he had like on the suit and he had this like chain on and it was like more showcasing the house. The other one, like he had like on like overalls. And he was like sitting in my bathtub. I remember, and they showed like all our Yeezys and my husband's Jordans and I don't know.
That's perfect.
He was singing on the balcony. I mean, it was fun. Like, you know, like the best part about having your own business is when you get to do like today, right? Like this is fun. Like when they were filming the music video, when I get to do Looks Leads Lifestyle, and we get to explore like all that Chicagoland has to offer. We don't just do old places. We do like modern places too. So it's just fun, you know? So I consider myself lucky that that's awesome. Can do all of this stuff. And we're working on making real estate more fun because we're building back our niche of short sales, and we got off of email, so I no longer have this mindless time suck, money suck going on anymore, where I used to need 10 people working 14 to 18 hours a day to keep up with the workload.
No shit.
That's crazy.
How many attorneys?
And they were all lawyers.
How many?
All lawyers.
How many?
So
do you have now?
Now I only have. I have me, myself, that's one person. Myself, my husband, one other gentleman, and then I have 2 people taking the bar this summer, and I have a couple of interns that are like second year, first year of law school, and then I have 1 full-time admin, and then like we have like back of the office kind of stuff like file scanners and all that.
I wanted to get back a little bit on politics because I wanted to ask you with the amount of stuff. So they have the feds are in Chicago, right? What do you think about the current state of Chicago politics?
If you say the feds to me, I get nervous.
Yeah,
because I'm Italian.
You have something to do with it?
No. So that's funny that you said that because
I want your honest opinion because I know I'm going to get it straight from you.
Well, you don't have to worry about that ever, right? So, with me anyways. So, the feds are investigating aldermen. So, that's why when people, like when I've talked to the police department about my situation, they automatically go like, well, the feds. But the thing is that like, to me, this is so like quintessential Chicago that like, I don't even really care about the aldermen. Like I do, but I really think like the neighbors, I talked to other people when I was doing that variance signature, like people that signed, they said they did the same thing to them. So in my opinion, they need something more local to stop them because I don't think the feds are going to do anything. They might do something to the alderman, but
the feds on a local basis, but like Ed Burke and shit.
Oh, you want me to talk about Ed Burke?
You mentioned Ed Burke?
Yeah, I mean, what about the other?
Ed Burke is under indictment. I read
Sandoval is in, right? Sandoval.
I don't know that. I know Burke, and I read the case against him, and in my opinion, it's weak. Yeah. All it has is that so the Burger King
shootout.
Okay, so McDonald's is the gent that got shot in front of the Burger King. Sorry, I always get confused because the names are like, is it the McDonald's
driveway?
Yeah.
So his name is McDonald's and it was Burger King. So the case that Ed Burke is involved in was about that Burger King, right? Am I saying this right? I keep getting confused.
Yeah, McDonald's at Burger King.
McDonald's at Burger King.
McDonald's
was at Burger King. So Ed Burke's case is around that Burger King. And driveway permits, which is funny, huh? Because that's why everyone's like, oh, it kind of sounds like that. So it's funny. So the alderman that messed with me, actually, when he was running that campaign about like just locally within my neighborhood, there was nothing there actually was in print, but it was on Facebook. When they were running that, I'm building a fence like Trump to get the Hispanic vote. He was also running a campaign against Alderman Burke, saying like, how dare he hold up the driveway permits? I'm like, what? Like, you held up my driveway permits for years. Like, what are you talking about? So I think the case against Burke, it's very interesting because how is this guy campaigning against Burke holding up a driveway when he held up my driveway? Wouldn't he be like, mouth shut?
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense. So if Burke gets held accountable, then like, if whatever Burke gets, that guy's going to get quadruple.
Oh, for sure.
So I don't know. So I don't think Burke's going to get anything, but he didn't do anything criminal. There was no extortion. There was no nothing. This person was saying like, let the neighbors extort you, and probably in turn he would have gotten donations from them. I mean,
so you're saying Ed Burke didn't do anything?
I don't think.
Criminal.
I mean, I read the indictment. It didn't say. It said that he wanted the Burger King owner to use his law firm for tax appeal in order to get the driveway permit. And the only proof that they offered was an email from the secretary saying, like, here's the contact information for the law firm.
Yeah.
What? That's it.
So what about all of his boys though?
Whose boys?
Ed Burke's boys.
So I stopped there.
Who's the Speaker of the House?
You stopped there?
I stopped there because I really like Burke. So I
don't have anything against
I adore
Burke.
him. First of all, he dresses sharp.
He does.
Oh, he
He's
does. He looks
so
like a stud.
nice.
The greatest ties.
He's so nice. He has a house very similar to mine, like right off the expressway. He actually did a little bit of like a development too, because he got even more land from IDOT.
So you have a relationship with him? Like
No.
Okay.
I just admire him from afar.
Okay. All right.
But he goes to church every day. He's been in deep so many times and always gets out. In my opinion, it's because he goes to church every day. Like, he's a nice Catholic boy that dresses like the Don. I love it.
Fair enough.
I love it. My dad dresses like that too. Like
Yeah.
very like the suits and the whatever. And like, as you see, I'm trying to channel a little bit of that. My dad gets mad because he's like, my dad always said,
You can't look flyer than me.
exactly.
Yeah.
My dad always said, he's like, you're never going to dress better than me. I don't know. What do you think about what I'm doing
Pretty
now
good.
with like the tie bars and the chains?
I
It's,
thought
like,
that's how
pretty-
you always dress. No, that's you know who that reminds me of? Dan Pena. You know who Dan Pena is?
No.
Always wears a 3-piece suit with the what is that? The bar?
tie bar.
Yeah, the tie bars. I think it looks good.
Who is it?
Dan Pena.
Who's that?
Oh my.
Some
I'll send you his page.
some
He's good.
guru mentor.
Oh,
Yeah, but no, he was an oil man. It was anyways.
he does oil.
Well, he used
He
to.
did, yeah.
He's old now, but he's a billionaire. But he dresses like he's
Sharp.
all about that. Yeah.
I mean, here's
First
the thing.
impressions.
When I dress like a scrub, like today I was running errands like a scrub, and then when I'm dressed up, like I feel better dressed
Yeah.
up.
So-
I don't know.
So
I
do
know
you-
that's like not the style like Gary Vee. Like I don't care. I wear my
T-shirt.
Well, that's Gary
t-shirt.
Vee.
Yeah, t-shirt and
You're
jeans
an
is what's
attorney.
in.
I don't really look good in a t-shirt. Gary Vee, I don't think looks good in a 3-piece. I don't know.
I think Gary Vee could pull it off though.
No, I think he could. You're right.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could pull off a t. I mean, like I could, but like I wouldn't.
Feel
Yeah, but
I don't know.
you're
I guess if I got my makeup done and my hair, maybe. But like,
you're representing yourself as a professional. You're an attorney.
like they say, there's only one chance to make a first
Yeah.
impression. So
right. So you want to hear something funny? When I used to work at the title company, most lawyers dress like Gary Vee. You know that?
No shit. I didn't know that.
Most
Well,
lawyers dress like Gary Vee. There was this one guy that did so much business. He used to wear Ren and Stimpy t-shirts. First of all, his hair looks like it got electrocuted. It was as long as mine with like this whole
Was he
thing
good?
bald. No, he's.
Oh,
I want to say his name so bad because his name was even funny. He would wear shirts with Ren and Stimpy throwing up into people's mouths.
what?
With
And
like.
he show up to closing like
Yeah,
this?
and then like there'd be other lawyers. I went to closings one time and they had on like Love Boat socks and like Daisy Dukes, and I was like, "Is the lawyer gonna
No
come?" And he's like,
shit.
"I am." So they were probably friends and playing squash or something at East Bank. I don't know, but it was just bizarre because they had like junk hanging out. Like it was just ugh.
yeah.
Like at the closing table, like with their legs wide open. I was like, "Oh
Get
god!"
outta
And I'm
here.
and like here's the thing: when I started, you know, like this like
How the hell did they get the bar? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because they were like old at this point.
oh, they just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
They were
No, but a
just
lot of lawyers
established, probably.
do. Like I see closing pictures because everyone thinks like closing pictures is like the cutting edge social media. Like get out of here. The lawyers look like the realtors are dressed better most of the time, and the lawyers are in like some people look like they're ready to like take your order at TGI Fridays. I mean, I don't know.
So is that important to dress like a professional?
I think so. Some people think it's obnoxious, but
How? Why? Why would they
like a
think that
show
it's
off.
obnoxious?
They think it's like a show off. I don't know. I don't agree.
What, so why do you do it? Is it like you like the way it looks? Is
Yes,
it
I love how
confidence?
it's confidence.
Yeah, it
I
is
like
definitely
how it
confidence.
looks. I think that like no one's gonna mess with me when I got like a tie bar like
That's how I
choking
feel,
me. Like they're
yeah.
gonna be like, this girl's gonna like really do something bad to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't know.
I wanted to talk to you a little
Even
bit
though I'm really nice,
about
yeah.
I am.
Well, no. What I'm saying is like I mean the way you know that you talk to like the client, not your clients, but like realtors and shit. Like you know, like
Very
So
straightforward, right?
I just tell it like how it is. So like if I like you, I will tell you. If I don't like you, I will tell you, and I need to stop that, and I need to be a better salesperson, and I need to be a mirror. But to me, being a mirror is like a sociopath. It's not authentic. I don't know.
For sure.
But I know that helps you get business. So it's like,
yeah, you know what?
A balance.
You know how they tell you not to speak about religion or politics because it divides the people you can help,
especially in our business.
But I think it's also important to be truthful, like you are, right? You're not going to put on a face when you really don't like somebody or don't agree with their thoughts or whatever. So
some people say, like, you know, in like the movie Bambi, like if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. So like I get that, but like. Also, guess what? When I do say stuff, guess who likes me? People that agree with me.
So
and they like me a lot.
Have you always been like that?
Have I always had a loud mouth? Of course I've always had a loud mouth. I used to get pulled out of... I went to this Catholic school, so I'm from here. I grew up in Addison. And I used to get... We didn't have a church. We had church in the gym. So we'd have a pep rally on Thursday, and then Friday we'd have mass, and then I would get in trouble for talking because the day before we were told to scream louder. So then they were like, detention.
Yeah.
I got out of it because I was a good lawyer.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the different approach that you have to social media, right? Because you said that people should not be posting closing pictures and open house pictures or any of that shit that everybody else is telling you to do.
Anything that anyone else does, you should never do. Anything.
Do the total opposite.
Always.
When they zing you, yeah.
Right.
So what's
guess what no one's doing right now? Short sales. Do short sales.
Do short sales, yeah. Low competition.
You see it in the numbers?
Yeah. There's nothing listed. Nothing listed.
Is that because houses are not really underwater?
It's because realtors are too busy taking closing pictures and walk through pictures to roll up their sleeves and go out there and door knock or go out there and dial or use, I just got a dialer for the first time.
What is it, Mojo?
Yes. Okay. Obsessed.
Yeah.
What was I doing all these years?
The auto
dialing one by one. Yeah. Do like idiot.
Yeah.
Two phones at a time.
You always cold called.
So lawyers are not allowed to call the public. So I would call realtors.
Okay, got it.
And kind of encourage them to do this. Sometimes I would call people that have listings. So my approach to social media is just be you. Stand for something. Otherwise you like fall for anything, right?
Yeah. So how does our social media look? Be honest.
I love it. I mean, that's why I reached out to you guys in the first place. I was like, look at, they're all fresh and clean and hip and new, and anybody that's doing different, I really respond to.
Okay. How do you think we could take it to the next level?
So, looks leads lifestyle, and of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so looks leads lifestyle. You have
look at Ryan. I think is dressed for looks leads lifestyle.
Yeah, he looks great.
All right, so looks leads lifestyle. You have March 18th Carol Stream. 18th, right?
So no, you're gonna get mad at me. So I started an investors group. So I have classes for investors and realtors and the public on foreclosures. And second quarter, we're gonna start probates, tax deeds, scavenger sale, all kinds of stuff.
Okay, so looks leads lifestyle, and then what's the other group?
Chicago and Chicagoland Real Estate Investors Association.
Oh, that's the Facebook one. Okay, right. So what does your schedule look like? Like, I'm not
very time blocked, but I also have a lot of flexibility.
Okay, so if I want to attend one of your events,
yes.
Do you have a calendar I could look
So
at?
on ChicagoCREIA.org or looksleadslifestyle.com, there's the events on there. We also have webinars 3 to 4 times a week for each.
Okay.
So that, because now the classes are paid, but the webinars are free.
Okay.
It's not much. It's like nominal.
How much is it?
Cover like the venue, basically.
Okay.
$10 for the foreclosure one, $25 for the
cheap.
looks leads. I mean, this is just the start. We just started charging.
So when's the foreclosure?
The foreclosure ones, there you go, March 18th, and then there's another one the week after
Carol Stream.
at O'Hare. And then Looks Leads Lifestyle is the 19th in DeKalb, but it's actually about YouTube. So there's someone that's going to be talking at the class that's like good at YouTube.
Perfect.
So it's not road trip. It's fine.
Okay. What can we expect to get if we attend one of these events?
So usually there's the leads and Looks Leads Lifestyle is trying to help people get more business. So sometimes we do combine, like sometimes I do Looks Leads Lifestyle and I do talk about how to get more short sales, or I will talk about scavenger sales, or we did one in October where we talked about how to do deconversions, right? Condo deconversions. But sometimes it's just general business. So it just depends. This one's on YouTube. So if you come to this one, the speaker supposedly knows hacks on how to do YouTube, because I supposedly...
Is this the guy that you reached out to?
I for sure know nothing about YouTube. I'm trying. No, this is a connect that somebody gave me.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I was going to ask if...
Because I have... How many subscribers do you guys have on YouTube?
On YouTube? Oh, you don't even
I have like
know.
5.
We have... I checked this morning, 95.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
How long have you been on YouTube, though?
A year.
Yeah,
2.
we're about to be a year in May.
Right. So I don't know how you... So I hope that he like shares all that. It seems like consistency is it.
That's what it is.
And I don't like how I'm hearing, and I hope this is not true, I don't like how really produced pieces seem to be like what you have to do. Like you have to put like that cover photo with writing.
Oh, the
I don't really
thumbnail?
like that. I don't like that.
Well, it's time consuming.
Super time consuming.
Right. But I just don't, I don't think it looks nice either.
It doesn't. But you know what? It's proof that if you have one of those crazy thumbnails that it's going to get more clicks. Like I was watching
So
a video
weird.
on YouTube algorithms or whatever, and they say obviously it's consistency, but they also say good content, consistency, and a thumbnail.
Good content is
Terrible.
number one, though.
It's
right?
for sure.
But and a thumbnail.
But if you're a small YouTube page and you need people to click on your videos when they pop up recommended, if people don't know who you are, if you have some crazy, our biggest video right now is Michael Jordan's Highland Park home that hasn't sold because I have Michael Jordan.
Did you go there?
I didn't go there. No. It's just we're talking about it.
Oh, okay.
He's looking through the listing, and it has. Okay, so don't make fun of me. When I say big video, it has 1.7 thousand.
When you say
It's almost at
1.7.
2K. It's almost
That's
at 2K.
good.
But it's
Listen,
the
we're
dumbest.
just
It's
starting.
the dumbest thumbnail. It's Michael Jordan crying, and it has like the Air Jordan symbol, and then his mansion. That's it, and it has the most views.
It's what she's talking about, though, where everybody's willing to do anything to get the likes, to get the views, because it's all about clout, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're saying you don't like clickbait shit. Well, it was
Right.
it was a legit like thumbnail. I mean, it's what we were talking about.
Yeah, but she's talking
But
about
that's
like
probably not your best video, though, right? Isn't that kind of the point? Like, if of
It's
all
de-
your
it's
videos,
definitely
is
not
that
the
your
best
best
one.
video?
No.
Oh hell no.
Because I've
It was-
seen your. I mean, even this stuff is more entertaining.
Some of our
than,
really good like videos or conversations get no views.
yeah, no views.
And aside from YouTube, I don't know what's
But
going
if
on.
you put like Michael Jordan crying as a thumbnail,
Yeah.
and then you guys, then it would get good. I don't know.
we had a video that all it said was North Lake. It didn't even have a thumbnail or nothing. It had like 30,000 views and like 400 shares on Facebook.
It's also what she's talking about. That people want negative shit. Like you were talking about, like
Yes.
media and stuff like that. People like are drawn to
Yeah.
all that bad. Like if you put a lion, about to eat a little baby, you would get
Oh, hell
a couple
yeah.
million views.
Yeah. I mean, the people those pages aren't going to grow. Like the people that are bullshitting to click on the video and stuff like that. Like you have to, whatever the thumbnail is, the content better be in the video.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
not like,
You can't do bait and
Right,
switch.
right.
You
But I
can't
mean-
say like, oh, today I'm talking about the lion and
Right.
the baby, but then it's just us on the podcast.
yeah.
That won't work.
Yeah, we spent too much time worrying about like what the thumbnail
Well,
looks
maybe
like
then
and
this
shit.
person will tell us something different, hopefully, because I really
wanna
hope
check it
that
out.
it's not just that.
Yeah.
But then everyone that's there will get a picture. We're thinking of doing like lifestyle videos, like just showing people walking kind of thing. Yeah. We haven't executed it yet.
You have a personal photographer, don't you? Because every time I see you post, you're like, oh, hey guys, the photographer's here. Or like, oh yeah, we're going to have the photographer here.
So that's for Looks Leads Lifestyle. There's a photographer there. But like every day to day, no, I'm just using my iPhone.
Is it the same photographer?
It's switched over the years. I had a really good girl, and then she moved, and she was sending me some covers, and they were not so great. Now I have a good one. Of her covers was good, so I have that person now.
Theresa, are you investing in real estate? Or you like to associate with real estate investors, or what?
So the hack on real estate investing, first and foremost, in 2020, you should be doing short sales. Buying short sales. So for me, because I am an investor, I unfortunately either need cash or 25% down, or pay through my nose for like interest to get a hard money rate, which I don't really like that option.
Right.
So the real hack in real estate, which is why I did that investor group, is to share the good news that realtors need to start working on short sales, because there's 60,000 people in foreclosure and only 400 and something under contract, or listed as short sale. So then I want people to know that the real way to invest in real estate is to start young. And you leverage, down payment assistance from the state, city, county, so that you don't even have to pay anything on your first one, and then keep snowballing into more and more and more, which I didn't do that. When I first started my career, I did well. It was 2006 in real estate. Anyone could do well, like a corpse could do well. So I did really well, and I bought like a fancy, shiny, brand new townhouse downtown, and I could have just bought a lot of buildings though too. So yeah, but I didn't. So here I am. So now I have to do it. I have to save up a down payment because I don't have that. But a real hack is that you use the down payment assistance and you continue. So that's why I want the investor group too, so that they buy the short sale multi-unit, they get the down payment assistance, they pay nothing, and then they keep rinse and repeat. Do you know what I'm saying? Like keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean that's a great hack that real estate I think is a great investment overall, right? And then the fact that the bank is willing to lend you $200,000-$400,000, right?
In return for like you don't even have to. Sometimes you put like nothing, because if you can get all the grants, you don't need.
So walk into the bank and ask them for $400,000 for any other reason, and they'll laugh at you until you walk out the door. If you're walking in with a contract for some piece of real estate, you might consider it.
Especially if you're first-time home buyer, they love it.
Yeah.
Because the initiative with the government is to get people to buy, so you might as well take advantage of it. And a hack, like in the city of Chicago, if you're buying a multi-unit, is that you can live in the basement. I don't know if everyone knows that. So you legally
in a 4-unit, you could.
So like in a 2-unit, right, where you have a garden apartment, legally you're not really supposed to rent out that garden apartment. But if you're like a young single person, you can legally live in your basement apartment and rent the 2 top units.
Even if it's not a legal unit,
but it's your building.
If it's your,
right.
Yeah.
So then you could collect even more rent that way.
Yeah, they call it house hacking, right?
Right.
Here.
Well, then there's people that like rent rooms, and then I know someone that this is like kind of messed up, but it's like kind of funny, but not really. It's kind of more messed up. Someone rented rooms so much that he had like bunk beds, like triple, quadruple, like quintuple.
On Craigslist or something, or what?
No,
it's like a house.
I don't know what he did. No, this was like old. Like the story was like old that someone was telling me. And they were all illegal.
No shit.
And when the house was paid off, he called ICE.
Oh.
What?
I swear to you.
Why would he do that?
That's terrible.
Let's get them all out. It's paid off.
Oh my God.
They're ruthless.
Yeah.
So in like 3 years he paid it off.
That's shitty.
3 years he paid it off.
All the same tenants?
All the same people.
Oh, that's
so they
terrible.
paid off his house, and then he didn't want to evict all of them, so he just called ICE.
That's terrible.
Could you imagine?
That's terrible.
But he paid it off. I mean, I'm not saying that's not very nice.
That's bullshit.
I know. But
it's a strategy, I guess.
He was smart until he did the ICE thing. I liked him at first.
Right.
I just think that's shitty, but it makes sense. But just evict him, get him out. I mean, unless they're shitty. All right, if you're a shitty tenant.
There was like probably 40 people living in there.
It's easier for an
for
eviction.
40 individual evictions.
Well, he should get in trouble because he can't be doing that. And how big was the building?
All he got if they get him in trouble, all he's got to do is sell the house. He got a house paid off free and clear. He's got money. What does it matter? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's okay. So listen, like that's not nice by any means, but like you have to, besides that part, you have to, when people are doing things in business where they're looking at profits and they're looking at like efficiency, like that's, I don't want to use that as an example because that was not nice, but like, let's say he just evicted them.
For sure.
That was a good idea, right?
Totally agree.
So like that's the thing that like people don't understand in real estate is like you kind of have to have a purpose and intention. You have to figure out how you're getting there, what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So that's what this group is about. Like, I'm not going to ever have like educational things where people have to pay like $50,000, $100,000. I don't know. Maybe I would, but I don't.
Like the guru program?
I don't really like that because like I would rather just connect people, like have realtors connect with investors, and we have like non-for-profits that come, like lenders that have the down payment assistance come. So like it's a good mix of what it should be. And I feel like the gurus are getting through because the realtors are too busy again on social media taking these stupid
I think that's soon to
pictures.
be over, like the online guru program or whatever.
Okay.
I think you can only kill people for so long until they kind of realize that it's the same.
But the realtors have to step up though.
Right.
The reason why that
education
that came in is because the realtors are too
passive,
preoccupied with their emails. They're too preoccupied with the menial means, you know.
The open
needs.
house.
Sorry, the menial tasks, the menial needs, all that stuff.
So you said that real estate agents should either be entertaining or educating
or being controversial.
Stand out.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, you can be controversial just by being yourself. There's a lot of stuff that most people don't say in front of the camera.
What about if you're a new agent? Like, how are you going to be
controversial? Go for it. I think. I mean, I didn't. So listen, when I first started, I was 24 years old. I was like, you couldn't see me when I stood sideways. And I luckily was underneath my dad because let me tell you, when I tried to get business when I was 24 years old and like looking good, it was always like, I'll send you business, but you got to take me out. Or excuse me, I want to take you out. And then it continued to more. And it was just like stupid. So like social media wasn't that big in 2006. Like maybe we had like MySpace.
Yeah, I think that was
like that's it, right?
Yeah, 2006 was the beginning of Facebook.
Right. So like, oh yeah, we did have Facebook, but it was like
I think it was like 03 for Facebook.
But it was like not really like
it was only college kids, I think, in 06.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like not really anything. So like my choice was to go out in the public and everybody wanted to kidnap me and that was not going to work. So luckily my dad was busy enough that he like kind of fed me a lot of people.
Nice.
But for new people now, you know, luckily you can be on social media so that way if they try to kidnap you, it's just on your phone so you could say go take a hike.
Yeah.
But in person it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
So like I feel like you can filter it out better now with social media because usually people that want that, they're real gutsy and they'll tell you to your face.
So let me ask you this.
So if you're a handsome young man and are worried about people like Ryan, like someone's gonna kidnap you because you're young and you're
good looking,
right? Yeah. So like for you, it's safe to be on social media and say something, but just talk about like, I don't know, what's entertaining in real estate. So like entertaining in real estate is like showing off beautiful properties. Go to Michael Jordan's listing.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like they have broker opens tours in like $1 million places.
Looks Leads and
Lifestyle.
Right,
Looks Leads Lifestyle they
shoot
can go to.
Shoot a music video in your house.
Right. I mean, you just have to be a showman. That's what and if you don't, then you need to work with someone that will. But the problem is that in Chicago, no one's really doing it. Every single realtor out there full-time should be doing 70 to 90 deals a year. Every part-time person should be doing 30 or 40. And that's it. And that includes on the team. Even non-licensed people need to be doing that.
And they're not?
They're not. Like big teams, it ends up being like 10 deals a person. You know, that's like embarrassing. And then they're always talking about their numbers. For what?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
What do you think about the current condition of Chicago real estate?
I think it's the worst.
It's terrible.
It's the worst.
Are we doomed?
So I was just talking about this with someone yesterday. Realtors need to get back to basics. They need to forget about Zillow, whatever paid thing that they want to do. Like they need to get onto dialing and door knocking and talking to people, and like things like social media and podcasts and all that stuff can be leveraged so that way when you're talking to people that you know, that it's like a conversation starter. Like you guys have questions like, wait, you're doing this, I can't keep up with you. I told you about comedy, you didn't even catch that. I mean, like it's doing stuff so that you're interesting, right?
Yeah.
So that you seem like
so people are
legit.
Attracted to you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a people business.
Yes. I mean, listen, like listen, when I started, please, it's not like I was like this, like doing this,
knocking
doing
on
that,
the
doing
doors,
this,
kicking them down.
I mean, I always had drive. I was always determined, but it's a little bit hard when you're 24 years old. Like no one really takes you seriously.
Yeah.
But once I got married and like was protected from like predators in real estate trying to kidnap me, then like I was able to go. Does that make sense? Like I was just able to go for it. So like, I guess, you know, there's things that people have to overcome personally.
So you're a mother of four and have all these things going on. Yes. How do you manage your time?
So, I I have a lot of staff. I always ask for help. No, I don't have anyone. No, I stay with the kids. I'd rather people. No. But people normally do that.
On nanny.
So when I first had children, I tried that. I tried to hire a babysitter and then work. But I was like, wait, this is stupid. I'd rather be with my kids. So then I started hiring lawyers so that then I could be with the kids more. But like, I have a very time-blocked schedule. I try to multitask. So for instance, Mojo Dialer is the best thing ever. So like anything that I'm doing is always anything that I'm doing plus Mojo. So if I'm dialing, I'm doing something else, right? Like I'm uploading the podcast or I'm doing something else,
Going live.
Right. Well, no, I wouldn't dial in live,
no,
but maybe.
So sometimes a lot of people do.
A lot of people do that now.
I mean, I have I've been like if I'm telling something about like example like scavenger sale, like how to buy scavenger sale and get a tax deed, like I might ask them like, hey, can I put this live?
Yeah.
But you can't do it without their permission. You have to ask.
Oh, there's so many people out there already doing it, right? I mean, they haven't gotten caught, but I mean.
It
is a law. It is a law. Huh?
With what?
Cold calling and then being live on like social media, like either Facebook or YouTube.
They're getting in trouble.
You're not supposed to do. You have to get permission.
You have to get consent from the person.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So
because
like,
there's personal information involved and shit.
Or there's a chance of it, especially if it's live.
And
right?
and then you're talking about an address. So.
Well, all the quote unquote top producers that love to come at me.
I love that.
I wanted to go live and call them and ask them a question that they were asking me. But I was like, because of that like consent thing, I was like, I don't think I could do it. So I'm like, I'm a lawyer. If I was a realtor, like maybe I'd get away with it, but I'm a lawyer. I'm supposed to know about
Definitely
that.
stand up.
Yeah, so you being an attorney, so I know like when I first started, when I got like on the investing side and when I got my license and stuff like that. So like one of the strategies for us to get leads, they were like, meet an attorney, build a great relationship with an attorney. Is it?
Yes.
Well, let me finish.
Did it work for you?
It was too hard. You guys are always busy.
Hard to get.
Well, first of all, not all lawyers are like me. A lot of lawyers are very closed-minded and are not like willing to like listen, like hear people out.
And I noticed that right away.
But I don't even think that's lawyers. I think that's Midwest. Like I think if we were in New York, I think a lot of people would hear you out because they're all like ambitious and motivated. And like you go in New York, like they got like maitre d's outside on the street telling people come inside the restaurant. Could you imagine here? No one would ever do that. Do you know that we have more foreclosures and more people underwater than New York and LA combined? Why? Because everyone here is like just like defeatist.
Scared?
They're just like defeatist attitude. Like, oh, okay, give it back to the bank. I mean, I don't even know. It's just nobody has like that hunger, that drive. Like everyone's just so like, which is good because then if you have it, then it's yours for the taking.
Yeah.
Yeah. We when we first got our license, we started door knocking. Like we were doing. The first niche we started was tax delinquent properties, and we were door knocking. Those people were pissed off.
Oh my god, they were nasty.
Everybody in the suburbs,
what did
they were
say?
pissed.
Tell her about the time that
I think one of the very first.
How many years delinquent were they?
It was due page, and they were probably like 2.5. So I mean,
went to the end.
Oh,
very
end.
Yeah.
It was like they were coming up on their redemption date. So I think it was somebody else's. It was like a brother that was living in the house because it was a woman's name and the guy was like sitting on the couch.
So typical.
And then we just knock on the door. So we weren't like knocking the neighborhood. We had like a list and we were getting the car, knock on it,
right,
and go to these doors. This guy comes around the back of the door like some old school Western shit, right? Like they come out the back door like just. He didn't have a gun on him, but like he posted up on the side. He stared at us like if he did have a gun, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?"
I think he knew what was.
Oh, he knew,
yeah.
And I'm sure we weren't the only one. Like that's another thing out here. A lot of lists are saturated.
Oh.
Tax delinquent leads. Probate leads, because everybody that we get into contact, I
got 1,000 of the same letters.
You're the 8th person that called.
People like exaggerate though, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but
like, do you really think people are calling? Come on. You really think the realtors are calling 100 and they're not? Why not? Because they're just not. They're too busy on social media or
Isn't
emails.
That what you said, social media? Oh, like just bullshit on social media.
If you're producing content, that's different, or if you're interacting with like
For
purpose.
sure.
But if you're passively scrolling or like posting your content that's not cool, like you're losing, right?
Yeah. So getting back to not the door knocking and the cold calling shit or whatever, but I was gonna ask you, so do you have like a go-to realtor? Because you're saying, oh, there's no top real estate agents out here. So when we started, they would tell us to find an attorney, because if you find a good attorney, they'll be slipping you the leads when they come through.
Head no.
Is it because you don't want to, or is it just because you don't have that realtor that's willing to do the work?
No, it's neither.
Neither.
What is it?
So do you really, so if realtors whose job is supposed to be sales
Yes.
don't even do it,
Do what?
sales.
Don't do sales.
No, they don't. Are they door knocking? Are they cold calling?
No,
Are they
yeah.
whatever. So if realtors aren't doing their job of sales, what makes you think that lawyers are going to be? Because for lawyers to have leads would mean that they would need to be doing sales. And I assure you they're not. So I have people that have double crossed me and have done what you said, right? Like,
What?
I'm going to go with the lawyer that gives me leads.
Okay.
Okay. When I ask them, I say, how many deals have you closed with this person that's this awesome person that's going to give you so many leads? I mean, like, they would be like 3, 5, 1. It's like, what? So I get sold out. So like, I'm not proud of it. This is why I'm diversifying, but I've been doing this for a long time. Like, so we're really
sure,
good. Like,
for
we
sure.
know everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, the fact that we get sold out for like 1 to 3 deals is, to me,
a
is
waste of
kind
your
of
time.
silly, and it's a waste of their time. They're supposed to be doing 90 deals. You're barking up trees and building relationships to get 1. You don't think that if they spent that time door knocking that they would get 10 or 20 or 50? Probably they would. Probably all 90.
Yeah.
So I think like the things that people tell people to do in real estate right now are silly. It just needs to be back to basic. It needs to be door knocking, whatever. And another thing too, like if you're a realtor, like you should have another business that you can offer help to these people. So it shouldn't always be about making the sale. It should be about helping the people, because
Okay.
helping the people is going to get that loyalty and get the people like not pulling guns on you, right?
Right.
Because your pitch for, if you're doing foreclosures, should be, do you want to keep or sell the property?
Yeah.
So if they say keep it, then you have to have like a HUD housing counselor that's in their area to give to them. You have to tell them like, well, what are you, speaking about, Chicago where everyone's just defeatist, like, what are you going to do to get additional income? Because in loan modifications, you have to show that you make a lot of income in order to be qualified, and your debt to income ratio needs to be a certain threshold. So guess how you manipulate that? Either paying down debt, which you need money to do, or having more income. So I get it, not everybody has it, but maybe not everybody knows about it. Maybe not everybody knows that you can, like my husband's into like buying stuff like Gary Vee tells you to do. Buying stuff. He has like an eBay store.
He goes to like estate sales and shit.
No, he if he finds like deals, he'll buy a lot of them. So if he
Yeah.
finds something for cheap, like we went to a Bulls game and we got all kinds of hats for free and he sold them all.
Yeah, it's a side hustle. That's what we're all doing.
But the people that are in foreclosure, are they? Or the people that are in tax sale, are they? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so maybe it's your role as the realtor. Like, if
Educate
they
them.
in heart of hearts want
sure.
to keep it, that you should help them, because you know what? Then when you help them, then they will turn around and help you and say like, you know what? Here's this client, or I'm going to buy, right?
So helping them long term though, because somebody that's like,
Right.
coming up on their redemption date, you're not going to go tell them, hey, go out to the garage sale and start selling shit.
Why not? Why not?
Those people are like 40,
But if that's what they want, though, I mean, you can't force people. You're not going to force people to do garage sales. You're not going to force them to sign your listing agreement.
No.
If they want to do it, they want to do it. So if they say that there's no way that they want to list it, even if you tell them that like, listen, your sale date, your redemption date is 30 days away, like, you could try another week or 2, but after that, maybe not. Maybe you want to try to list it and not do garage selling. But if they want to try it, like, help them then. They might lose, but still, like, you were by their side, so they're still going to. And guess what? Then they're going to need a place to go. And there's things like Home Partners of America where they'll buy the place for them. You as the realtor gets to keep the commission. It's not everywhere. It has to be in like certain areas, which are usually like good school districts. Or you could help them with rentals. You could help them with like land contract type of things where they get in. So it still could be a client. It doesn't always need to be, it shouldn't, this is where I struggle with the thing of like saying what I want. Cause like, it's not like I say what I want, but no one cares what I want. They care what they want. So if someone likes what I'm saying, then they like me. But if they don't like what I'm saying,
it is what it is.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Doesn't matter.
I mean, some people might think it's entertaining. Like I can watch like what's his name? Bill Maher.
Yeah,
Bill
yeah,
Maher in HBO. Like I don't really agree with him a lot. Like some things I do, but I differ a lot with him, but I still like him because he's entertaining.
Yeah.
So some people might not agree with me. I think a lot of people don't agree with me, especially in the community, because I think more people in real estate are more Hugo Chavez left for some reason. I don't know why.
You think so?
I think so. Maybe it's just my circle. I don't know. So, but I still think some of them, you know, just out of my understanding of real estate, or just maybe because I'm funny or they laugh at me, I don't know. But some people still watch
I think it's because you keep it 100.
Yeah, I think it's that.
You think?
But we have a 2 minutes left, and I want to have two specific questions for you. One, what you're a super driver. I can tell you have tons of motivation, tons of energy. What is that? What is the driver? What is your goal? What are you trying to do? Because you have
Take over the world.
Take over the world.
No, so there was a point when I had my first daughter and I was in a position to be able to pay off my house. I could have and stayed with her, but then my dad said, what am I going to do? I'm not paying for you. He's like, I'm not paying for your husband's in law school. Get it together.
Nice.
So I didn't end up doing that. And I started working towards getting that current house. So I need bills to motivate me. So if I would have paid off that house and like figured out a way to make passive income, I probably would have just been satisfied
awesome.
and whatever.
It's a great bill to have.
So like bills, so like
estate.
my kids they go to Catholic school in the city. So huge private school tuition bills. I have my house that I lived in that I was going to pay off is Airbnb. So it's clearly busy when we're busy in real estate and not busy when we're not in real estate. So it's not fun to pay 2 mortgage payments in like January and February when you're in real estate, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to sell
all.
that Airbnb?
No, I want it for my kids.
Okay.
So basically like providing, supporting is what drives me. And I want like a nice life. I want to be able to take off the summers with them. I want a mansion on the lake as my summer house. So like I have goals. That's why I want them to have a nice life.
Is there anything you wanted to ask her before?
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, before I go to your foreclosure class,
yes.
How do I get these, how can I help people going through foreclosure? How can I find these people to help them?
Okay, so those are 2 separate things. So to find them, it depends if you want to pay or not and what your approach is. So what do you like? Do you like door knocking? Do you like
both.
Dialing?
Oh, you're talking
direct
about
mail?
I don't like, to be honest, I'll do whatever. I'd rather cold call than door knock.
Okay.
You're the opposite. He'd rather door knock. I like cold call. I don't like cold calling.
So for door knocking, the easiest, cheapest, freest way is Remine. But it's not comprehensive, meaning that there's 60,000 people in the 7 counties and like Remine has like 4,000. So it's a good start for someone that doesn't want to pay for leads. They could just go on Remine, go to the left. There's a little box that says distress sales. Click on it, click all of those, print that out, go. A hack to get those in is that if you have showings or you live here or your office is there, to just do it around wherever you're at. For dialing, I would recommend RedX. Have you ever used RedX?
We had RedX, yeah.
Yeah, we had
Okay,
RedX.
so they have foreclosures for Cook County. I think they have around 7,000.
Oh, they did, yeah. I think I had foreclosures.
And if you put the dialer, it's around like $150
Yeah.
a month. I haven't played around with it yet. My friend has it. I guess theoretically you could just get without the dialer and then upload it to Mojo.
Yeah, but it's pointless because it's all in one. It's like you have the dialer and then you could get you could pay for separate, like they have like FSBOs, they have expireds, they have the foreclosures, and then it all populates in one. So
a strategy that I hear a lot of people doing this year with both door knocking and dialing is that like instead of trying to call all 7,000 of those people or trying to door knock all 7,000 of those people, or excuse me, on Remine it's only 4,000, but instead of doing them all, to maybe just focus on smaller groups. Mm-hmm. So like 100, 200, and then go from there. Now, another thing that's important is that you can also use this to build up your investors. So you could tell investors like, hey, like I am working on this. What areas do you guys want to invest in? And then I'll dial and door knock there. So that's something good too, so that way that you can do it. Now, it's 2020. Not all foreclosures are going to be underwater.
Right.
There's some people are going to be underwater. Some people are going to be regular. So the thing is what are you going to say to them, right? Is different. So, and it's different for like for investors, the best type of deal is a short sale. But for people that are in foreclosure, the best type of deal is just something where they don't foreclose, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like that's different. So like for investors, ILFLS.com is probably going to be the best resource to find people in foreclosure if people want to cherry pick. So meaning like I want this zip code and I only want 2 units, or I only want 4 units.
That one's probably cost money, right?
That one is around $300-$400 a year. They actually do the webinars with me every Wednesday, and they are at all of our events.
Awesome.
If you come on the webinar, you get a 7-day free pass. If you sign up, you get a little discount code. So that's like my influencer.
Oh, nice.
So,
I'll do it.
So, but nonetheless, if you are one of the 60,000 people in foreclosure, what you need to know is what we just told you, is that like, you know, nobody's working on this, unfortunately. So you kind of have to seek the help, because these two gents, Ryan and or do you go by Raphael?
Whatever you want to call him, Ralphie, Raphael.
Okay. These two fine gentlemen, Ryan and Raphael, are not going to have enough hours in the day to call 60,000 people. It's just impossible, right? So even if they're working on it, I have a couple of other people who are working on it, they're not. So if you are in foreclosure, it's really important that you reach out to a realtor that is experienced on it, which is what you guys have. You guys are experienced investors. You guys know what to do. You know how to deal with people that are in crisis, whether it's losing their house to tax sale, or if someone just had a house where the people passed away. I mean, you guys are good at dealing with people that are in crisis. So that's important, because they will be a source of knowledge and help guide you through it. Not necessarily, I don't think hand-holding is the right approach ever in real estate, but just be that asset for them to know what's next. And then you could reach out to a lawyer like myself as well, so that I could tell you what to expect legally, because the realtors are only going to be able to guide you in terms of like, this is what it's worth. So, which is important, right? Because if it's not underwater, you do want to know what it's worth. And if it is underwater, you want to know that it's underwater, right? So what's going to happen if you're underwater or not? So if you are underwater, unfortunately, you're underwater. So that means that you don't have any equity. Like you're not going to sell it and get 50,000, or you're not going to sell it and get 100, whatever. That's not going to happen. However, if you do live there, you can qualify from anywhere between $750 to $10,000 worth of relocation assistance. So it's not guaranteed to everybody. If you're with us, it's always on our standard numbers that we send to the bank, and then they will change it depending on what's going on, if the offer's too low or if you don't qualify for whatever reason. But if you aren't underwater, that it's important, because if you're on the clock and if you're missing payments and you're with these two gents that have your house listed, yes, fair market value is always a range, right? It's not just like this house is worth 150. That's it, right?
Right.
There's like a range. So like, let's say it's what, 120 to 150.
Oh, I mean, we can get a little closer than that, but yeah.
So you put it on, no one comes, the sale date's in 3 months. I don't know. You got to drop it, because guess what? When it goes to auction in 3 months, you think they're going to do you a favor and put it at the price that you have listed? No, they're going to just sell it for whatever, and they're going to strip you of all your equity. So if it's worth 150 and you would have got cashed out maybe like, let's say 30, because with your numbers and the closing costs, whatever, when they get to auction, they're just going to take all that money. They're going to sell it for 120, and that's it, and you're done. So try to get your equity out if you're in foreclosure. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To save your money. And then if you're short sale, try to get that. And honestly, at the end of the day, if you let your house foreclose, your name's still going to be on the utility bill for the municipality, the electric bill, all that other stuff. So by you coming to you guys to sell their house, they're going to be in a better position with like the silly bills, which sometimes get pretty scary. Like I've seen $20,000 water bills, like bad.
Yeah. So quick question. So Illinois is a judgment state, right? Or like in foreclosure, it goes for like like there's a time period. It doesn't go to an auction right away if you're delinquent on your right. Isn't that what it's called? A judgment state?
So I think it's if they use court or not. Some states don't use the court system the way that we do.
Right, exactly.
And then so there's a period with like judgment.
So what I'm
basically
saying is,
like when you stop making payments on your house, depending on your bank, they will record a lis pendens foreclosure somewhere between 1 and 3 months after you miss a payment. And then usually, like let's say in Cook County, if you live in the home, probably judgment gets set around 6 to 8 month mark. Okay. And then it forecloses 1 to 3 months after. But if you don't live in the house in Cook County, then it's 6 months that you'll foreclose.
So if you're going through a foreclosure, I've seen a lot of foreclosures that are over even like 8 months. Like I would look at like court docs, and it would just show that they would keep showing up to court and just keep they would keep extending the court dates.
Yes, but sometimes that's bad when that happens.
Well, at that point, I think that
not because of what you're thinking though. Because that usually means when you see that usually means that they've hired a lawyer to pay monthly to try to keep them in the house. But that's keep them in the house as a euphemism for like, I'm going to delay your foreclosure. And you're still going to lose the house.
Yeah, it doesn't
and then
make any
it usually
sense.
forecloses.
For sure. It's gonna
and you guys know if it forecloses, they can't, I mean, they have to write that they foreclosed on loan applications.
Yeah.
To get traditional financing, it takes 7 years as opposed to 3 to 4 years if you do a short sale.
I was just going to ask you
or
that
if you
question.
Or if you sell it, right? So if you're not underwater and you just sell it, it's not, you don't have a foreclosure now on your credit.
So if somebody goes through a short sale, it's 3 to 4 years that until you can purchase a home
with traditional financing.
Traditional financing like FHA or even conventional.
Yes,
FHA
and conventional.
Getting a bank loan.
But they can buy. There's programs where one day after short sale, you can buy a house with 20% down.
I knew there was. That's what I was trying to. That's what I wanted to ask you because
So there's life after short. There's life after foreclosure. I don't even want to say short sale anymore because everybody it's 2020. So now some people are underwater and some people aren't. So there's life after
foreclosure.
Having a foreclosure filed on your house. So we want to make sure that you don't foreclose because then it.
For sure. Our main goal is so they don't go through a foreclosure.
Right. And the reason why is if you foreclose, the bank can pursue you for the shortage. So if you're underwater in a short sale by $100,000, they can come after you for $100,000. They can get a judgment.
After the foreclosure?
Yes.
Oh,
people don't understand that. So they can come after you. They can garnish. They can get a judgment against you. They can garnish your wages. And then you have to file for bankruptcy to try to get that to stop. So it just is a big mess. And do you know that statistically, like 75% of all people that are in foreclosure, their house goes to auction and the bank buys it back.
And that's because us realtors are
not doing your job.
You got to be door knocking all these people.
Your job is. I liked it better when brokers used to be called salespeople. Because then you knew every day what you were supposed to do.
That now is a bad word, especially in Chicago, like you said, New York.
Right, now they call it, my friend and I laugh about it, they call it matchmaker.
There's people, there's people.
I'm a matchmaker.
There's people that
no, you're not, you're a salesperson.
They don't want to walk into Best Buy because they're afraid someone's going to sell them a TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we're good. And because that's what I get. Like on the phone calls, I
agree with you, but I don't know why. I mean,
but a lot of like leads and like listing appointments and deals have probably been because of picking up the phone and send like you have to talk at
relationships.
Some point.
It's all relationships.
Yeah. So,
but I think for you guys, your approach should be wherever your investors want and smaller. So don't call all those people. Just call 100, 200. And then the people that are listening, like, don't let your house foreclose because as one of my friends used to say, when you let your house foreclose, the nightmare is just beginning. Because then judgments and bankruptcy and it's a big mess. So you can exit gracefully if you contact a realtor. You can exit gracefully if you contact me. But if you contact a bankruptcy attorney, you're still going to foreclose. Some people will file bankruptcy to save their house they file bankruptcy to get rid of their house, but you guys know, right? You can only get rid of a house via a sale, whether it's a sheriff's sale, like when it forecloses, or whether you're selling it to someone that you guys help find because you listed it on the market. That's the only way to get rid of. Bankruptcy does not get rid of.
So when a home is considered pre foreclosure in Illinois, is that how many months delinquent? on your mortgage?
It varies.
It varies?
So like traditionally...
It depends on the bank, right?
Yeah. So traditionally it's like 1 to 3 months after you stop paying.
Okay.
They will put a lis pendens foreclosure on your house.
So what we should be looking for is because I stumbled across a pre-foreclosure, but it was really, really late in the foreclosure process.
That's fine.
I wasn't hunting for it. It was just it was circle prospecting. I would like to know how to get into the area, like when they first got a lis pendens, when they first were delinquent.
Right.
Because essentially when you're that far on the timeline, shit's is a lot sketchier. So, and I think there's a lot more you can.
Okay.
I think my question is, how do I start finding them right away, faster?
Okay, so when you find them right away, so RedX has a filter for that, and so does ILFLS.com. So does Remine.
Okay, so but
Remine probably has the most
but
Remine has the least accurate of what stage they're on. Remine really not
terrible.
Yeah, it's not that great.
They're pretty new though, aren't they?
Well, Remine's been around for a little
great.
while, but I think they like revamped their
They're just always saying that it's in a certain stage that it's not. So like they'll say there's a sale date, and we check there's no sale date. So like honestly, in my opinion, just go. Don't. That's what I'm saying. Like because
to the house.
No, like realtors always spend too much time on like trying to figure stuff out. That's like a lender's job or a lawyer's job. Just go. Just call the people, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like you can help them no matter what stage that it's in, whether they have a sale date next week or they have a sale date. Sale date.
Well, that's good, because I'm glad you mentioned that, because every type of like deal, like a probate, or that one I even called you on, there's a lot of shit that goes on. It's not like a traditional sale, like with probate. There's just something wacky about it, and then I'm sitting there. We're sitting there on the computer, like, oh, what the hell? There's a quick, deed transfer, all the like. It's
interesting to look at that, but you have to every time you go into that, then that's less and less people you can help, because you're spending time on that.
I like that you say that, because it takes a lot of our time, but there's other like attorneys and shit that like want all the information, and they're like, what the hell, what are you doing? This realtor doesn't know what the hell he's doing or talking about giving me this, you know what I'm saying? So
people say that about me all the time. People say that I have no idea what I'm doing, and like they just passed the bar 2 years ago, and they started practicing law straight out of law school with no internship anywhere that taught them anything. So let people talk. Who cares? Yeah. Like my one friend says when they say that, when you're trying to like justify something of why you do something by what other people are talking crap about you, you know what she says to me when I tell her that? She goes, "So, I don't understand. So,
just need to block them out, right?
What? I don't. She's like, and like tell me.
What does it matter?
So people are gonna talk, and that's what people are good at. People are good at talking,
right? But
they're not good at closing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean,
I'm just telling you because this thing turned off.
Yeah, I saw that.
You see that?
Yeah.
Well, wait, but hold on. I want to tell you guys one more thing about the process, because depending on where they're at.
Oh, in the
foreclosure process. Yeah. So like your script is always going to be: do you want to keep it or do you want to sell? Remember we talked about this. Mm-hmm. So you have to refer them to non-for-profit people if they want to keep, because your biggest enemy is bankruptcy attorneys, foreclosure defense attorneys. They're all going to just hustle them, and then the house is going to foreclose. And then all the work that you did is for nothing. Does that make sense?
So you're saying plug them with the non-profit attorney?
Yes. No. HUD counselor.
Oh, a HUD counselor.
Because they will tell them straight up whether or not they qualify. So like, let's say you find someone, they lost their job, they have a 2% interest rate because they bought like during the recession, right? And then they're like, I want a loan mod. With what you have no money and you're at 2%. What could they possibly lower what are they going to give you? Negative 2%? Like, what are they going to do for you? A percentage point lowers the payment like nominally.
Yeah.
So like they'll at least be honest with them and let them know.
They'll tell them straight up, and then this is a good person for you guys, because then they'll refer people to you, the non-for-profit. They'll say like, these people can help you. You're in foreclosure, you want it listed, call these two gentlemen. They'll help you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, got it.
So it's like a two-way street, but nonetheless, they will help the people, which is first and foremost the most important. So like, let's say that person denied. Guess what? Now they're going to go back to you. So now you weren't the one to say no to them.
Oh, I see, yeah.
They were.
You still look like the superhero.
So don't tell people like, no, you're not. Like if they tell you this, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like getting into too much stuff. Like who cares? Don't ask. Like I don't care what their hardship is. Do not ask people what their hardship is. Do not ask people. Like don't like pre-qualifying people like that just prevents you from doing stuff, and then it also like pisses people off because you're gonna know that they don't qualify. But if you tell them no, then they're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna go to that realtor that didn't say that to me.
That's
you
true.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like tell people what they want to hear. And let somebody else say the bad stuff to them. Do you know what I'm saying? Be like, oh yeah, like I'll help you keep your house. Go to this person, whatever. But don't even like let that come into your head. Do you see what I'm saying? Because like just go here. You want to keep it? Go to the non-for-profit. Okay.
Ask them what they want, and then try to fulfill that.
Right.
And if they're unable to, let somebody else tell them that they're unable to.
Right. And then that person will send them back to you. So now let's say another person kind of qualifies, so they submit them for loan mod, the non-for-profit. They could still get denied. So then guess what? When they get denied, then they're going to come back to you. But you have to be keeping in touch with all these people. Like, hey, did you go to the first appointment? Oh, you're submitting for loan mod? Okay, next month, how's it going? If you organize all these people into little slots, I have a spreadsheet for it.
I was gonna ask you that. I'm like, because I know
so then you could just mass text people like, hey, where are you guys at? Do you need help? Do you need comps? Do you need right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because then they can come back to you, and then guess what? Some people are going to get approved, but loan mods are like second marriages. They have a high divorce rate, right?
Yeah.
So a high incidence of redefault.
Yeah.
So they're probably next year going to call you, or 2 years from now going to call you. Why? Because you kept in contact with them this whole time. So every month you're going to text them like, oh, I'm so glad that you got the loan mod. Do you want to come to Looks Leads Lifestyle with me? Because I know you just opened up your own business.
Yeah.
That's why you qualified. And we're going to learn about how to take your business to the next level. And now you're going to forge this nice relationship with them. You guys are going to have
awesome.
this like hunky-dory thing. And then they're going to keep their house. And if they get in trouble, or maybe they're good and they're just selling it because they want to, or you're going to be a good realtor and you're going to say, no, you keep it and let's build your empire, and then have them keep buying more and more investments, which I know you guys are good at. So.
Yeah, that's
very
awesome.
good.
So I know you have short sales down to like a, like
science.
To a science.
Oh, the hack! I forgot to tell you the hack.
What hack?
Okay, so you want to know how you get short sales approved?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so for 10 years, we had a 15 to 20, 1 to 20% chance of closing. And the reason why is because we let the buyers do whatever. None of them did their loans up front. They didn't do appraisals up front. They didn't do inspections. They would strategically hold open attorney review so they could cancel at any time. They would get countered. The buyers would just walk. Like, it was terrible, right?
Just on this one deal?
On all deals. Hundreds and hundreds of deals. Like terrible. They were saying that the contract wasn't effective until the short sale was approved. It was a mess. It was a complete mess. So it got so bad that in 2018 we had a 1% closing ratio. And again, remember, all the realtors claimed that theirs was going to be the one. I talked to all of them. They're like, mine's going to be the one that's closed. I'm like, do you realize, like, statistically, it can't happen? No, I assure you, mine's going to be the one. Okay, whatever. So I sent out a letter to everybody, and I was like, listen, and it was literally on April Fools. I was like, on April Fools, you have to sign off on the terms. And I'm like, and this isn't a joke. You have to agree to pay for anything that the bank doesn't approve on behalf of the seller as the buyer. You have to do your loan up front, including ordering appraisal. You have to do your inspection up front, and you have to sign off on attorney review, or you're done. All the clients agreed with it, like the short sale clients. The realtors fought me.
Oh, okay.
Because all you have to tell the clients is like, look, right now you're exposed. The buyer could cancel at any time. They're not agreeing to pay for all your fees, and I can't negotiate with the bank unless I have ammunition. Ammunition is the appraisal and the inspection, and if it's in real bad shape, I have them give estimates now. So when we shifted over to that, now our closing ratio is 50%, which coincidentally, if you have a listing, any listing, your chances of getting it sold is 50%.
No
so now we've basically made short sales like regular deals, and then there's some other things that like you guys as realtors have to work on in terms of pricing, because if you price it, when the market first crashed, you were supposed to price it at whatever it was worth plus closing costs.
Okay.
And then as the market recovered, like in 2013, it was listed for fair market value, but then we kept getting all these wild counter offers Because the bank was like, well, whatever, I could ask for more.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ask for more. Oh, you think it's worth 150? I agree too, but I'm going to ask you for 180.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. They started outsourcing their BPOs and their appraisals to Philippines and all India. So sometimes it was because of what I just told you, and sometimes it was because they really didn't even know the market. So they were just making stuff up. Like, you knew it was 150, but they would say 190. Crazy. So now that we have this hack that we're doing, kind of goes hand in hand, is that how you price it. You kind of have to price it to get a deal, because no buyer is going to want to sign off on all those terms unless they're getting a deal, right?
How long are these taking?
So they are taking longer than, they're taking about the same that they always have. There was a time when they were quicker, but the good news is that they've always taken around 3 to 4 months. Sometimes they were accelerated. But in the old days, we used to let the buyer start everything once the short sale got approved. So guess what? If it got approved in month 3 or 4, and then the loan took another 2 months, now it's 6 months. But now we make the buyer do everything from the get-go. So if it gets approved in month 3, then they close in month 3. Do you see?
That's
so
kind
it's
of like opposite. Wouldn't you think that the buyer doesn't want to do none of that? Or the seller wouldn't want to do any of that?
What?
Like the docs and stuff.
He's going to try to avoid foreclosure, right?
Wait, the seller wouldn't want to do what?
Well, you said you saw a 50% jump when you started telling instead of the realtor to handle the deal, for the seller to handle everything.
No. All those changes that I said were on the buyer. The buyer had to do all that stuff.
I thought it was
seller.
No. Okay.
The buyer had to do all that stuff.
Because it was the buyer that was half-assing everything.
The buyers weren't doing nothing. They had no skin in the game. So the minute there was a counteroffer, they'd be like, nope. And their lawyers and realtors counseled them not to take deals of a lifetime. This is 2008, 2009,
shit.
2010, 11, 12. Deals of a lifetime. And these people would be like, no, I don't want it.
That
like,
makes
are you
sense.
kidding me? Like, do you know how good those deals were?
That was a strategy. I remember people were locking them up and then just moving around and then seeing what fell through and what didn't fall through.
Or if it was good or not.
Then listen,
they can't buy everything, so I get it, but like, these people were losing their house to foreclosure, so it wasn't fair to the sellers that they were doing that. I mean, listen, there's business, and then there's like what we talked about with the guy who called ICE to get the people out, right? Like, you have to have like some sort of ethics. Like, you can't get rich off of screwing people over.
Right.
No.
Like, you just can't. Like, that's not a good strategy. Yeah. So you have to have some sort of ethics about you.
Yeah.
How much time do we have, Ryan? Should we close this up?
Yeah, let's close out, because there's only
1 minute.
I don't know. I can't see. How did we go up to 25? Did they stop recording?
I don't know. We should close this out. I mean, it's...
Oh, does it go... the time moves up.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you got 5 minutes.
I thought it was like 15. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So Theresa, thank you so much for spending some time here with us. Could you tell everybody how to get a hold of you?
Yes.
How to get a hold of all these wonderful things you have?
So they can find me on my website, panzicalawoffice.com. Social media, a lot of the names are kind of a spinoff of that. So I think like Instagram's Panzica Law, Facebook I think is Theresa L. Panzica LLC. So just look for Theresa Panzica on social and you'll find. And then they can definitely call us at 773-267-6630 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Awesome. All right, guys. So this has been episode number 20 of the Ralphie and Ryan Show with Theresa. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.